Hey, what's up, guys? Oh man, it feels like it's been a long time since we actually got to sit down and talk about a chapter of Black Clover. I mean, what's it been like 3 weeks now since we got the last chapter? And I didn't even review the last chapter, so it's been even longer than that. But yeah, it feels good to be back. It feels good to actually have a chapter to read on a Friday again and be able to talk about it. Which, by the way, since it has been a long time since we actually talked about a chapter review, I just want to throw a quick shout out to everyone who's been watching my latest video on Black Clover, the one I just randomly uploaded about what I expected or what I'm hoping to see come out of this arc before it ends. This video just completely blew up. I mean, it hasn't hit the numbers that like my Attack on Time videos have, but it's definitely probably the most successful Black Clover video I've ever posted out. And because of that, I just want to say thank you to all you guys who have watched that video. It's just amazing to see. I mean, I know it's not a lot of videos, only like 500 some video views isn't a lot for a YouTube video. But my personal belief is that anytime you get more views on a video than you have subscribers to your channel, it's a success. So once again, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. Anyway, let's just jump right into the chapter. And I gotta admit, why I did like this chapter, with how long we had to wait to get it from when we last had a chapter of Black Clover, I kind of wish that it would have been more of an epic chapter. I mean, this was just kind of like a resolution chapter. Like, I feel like this should, before they went on their long, like, 3 week break, this should have been the last chapter they put out, and then we get a 3 week break, and then we jump into the next bit of action. But instead, this chapter is basically just resolving the whole fight between Asta, Gray, Henry, and Gordon versus Gouch and Marie. And it pretty much just comes down to Asta using his anti-curse sword to take the resurrection spell out of the two of them and turn them back into normal humans. That's pretty much all that happens in the chapter. It pretty much just goes from that to being a reunion between all the Blackpool members. Which, by the way, I was cracking up at the end of the chapter when I saw Finn Raw lying there, and we got that little blurb of him saying, "I feel like I got left out of the situation where I missed my chance of doing something." When he's thinking about the fact that all the other Blackpool members, or he doesn't really know because he's still kind of unconscious, but he's thinking about the fact that all the other Blackpool members are right now like gathered up together. They're having like a quick, reunion before they go off to meet up with Captain Yami. Even the newest kind of member of the Black Bulls, Sally, is there, and Finn Raw's not, and he's probably one of the OG members of the Black Bulls. But yeah, it's always kind of fun to see Finn Raw be put down in these kind of like more comedic moments with the Black Bulls. Now, even though this was a simple chapter, we did get a lot of interesting things. Like, for one thing, when we get a look into like the past when the elves got destroyed through the elf Gouch's memories, we get to see some new scenes that we didn't really get to see before, and we find out some. At least I think it's new information. I might have missed it before in previous chapters, but from what we find out in this chapter, which I believe, like I said again, I believe this is new information that we haven't heard before. We find out that the reason why, and this is actually a question I've always had, as to why the elves didn't fight back against the humans when they were attacking. The reason why they couldn't do that is because of the fact that the humans used a magical artifact that they created to steal the mana from the elves. So yeah, this flashback kind of just confirms the reason why elves hate royals so much. And not only that, it also confirms the reason why royals and nobles, in a sense, all have such high mana reserves. It's because of the fact that they stole the mana, their ancestors stole the mana from the elves, and it just got passed down from generation to generation. And the chapter also kind of gave a reason as to why nobles and royals treated commoners like they're dirt or like they're so far below them in the series. And it's simply because of the fact that when the nobles and royals stole the mana from the elves back then, they basically considered themselves elevated to god status. And because of that, they basically just they passed on that like understanding or that idea into their children's heads, who would pass it on to their children and so on and so forth. And that's why we get characters like Solid, who basically just treats commoners like they're basically worse than insects. And I gotta say, this flashback, more than any other flashback, has made me sympathize with the elves more than I have with any of the royal characters in the series. I mean, seriously, when we see that part in the chapter where the royals who are stealing the mana basically say, A, that only humans should deserve that type of power and fuck the elves, and B, the fact that because Techia, the wife of Lich and the sister of the first Magic Emperor, had got impregnated by an elf, despite the fact that she was a royal princess, someone of royalty, one of their people, just because of the fact that she got pregnant by one of the elves, they were like, nah, fuck that, she's dead too, and they just cast her aside. I was like, I momentarily was like, yeah, no, fuck the humans, I'm with the elves now. But the scene also made me wonder, if she was the sister of the first Magic Emperor, you would think that he would want to, take revenge, or he'd want to bring to justice the people who killed his sister and murdered all his friends. Yet despite that, we have no records of in the history books or like we haven't heard nothing from the series as far as their history when it comes to like what the Magic Emperor did, the first Magic Emperor did, besides the fact that he killed that demon that attacked the humans. So it has me thinking, like, did he just not know that the royals and nobles actually did that to the elves, and that they're the reason why the elves were killed off, or did he just kind of like put that aside and for the benefit of like humanity? It has me questioning his motives now at this point, and it just makes me want to know more about exactly what happened with him, because we don't really know that much information when it comes to that character. We also got to get a quick look inside the head of Gouch and the elf that's controlling him. And it's basically the two of them had the same kind of thinking, that they don't trust humans. They don't trust anybody, and they would both basically betray any human in order to, live a long, happy life for them and the people they care about. And that's basically what it came down to, is that the two of them did feel that way. And then at the end of the day, after Asta defeated them, kind of like he does with every other elf that he's faced so far, after defeating them, they kind of come to an understanding of like, oh, not all humans are bad. So the elf inside Gouch basically comes to the understanding that, yeah, this human's not so bad. Like, these humans that are fighting right now are doing everything they can to save their friend. They're not that bad. They're not like the people that we fought or the people that killed us all those years ago. And once Gouch actually comes to his senses and actually him return back into humans, he comes to the understanding of like, oh, these guys actually are my friends. Like, I can actually trust them. Which I thought Gouch had already come to that understanding, at least with Asta, after the whole, like, original fight with Lich, or with the original fight with Patry. After that whole event happened, I thought he had kind of come to that understanding already. But I guess this chapter was just basically reinforcing no, it's not just Asta, it's all the Black Wolves that I can put my trust in. Alright, now, so the final thing I want to talk about in this chapter is something that actually has kind of stuck with me after my first reading of it. And that's in the moment right before Asta turns Gouch and Marie back into humans. He's talking to the elf, and the elf basically tells him, when it comes to using power that can basically make anything, like you can basically rewrite anything so that it never happened, that magic comes with a cost. Now, I don't know how many of you actually read Marvel Comics, but if you do, in like the last 2 or so years, they've actually established with their magic characters over there is that, and I think DC has done it too, is that even the smallest amount of magic comes at a cost. And like the bigger the spell that you use, the bigger the cost it's going to, take from you. And it could be anything from like, damage to your physical body, or making you not be able to digest certain foods, something like that. It could be anything. And it has me thinking, what if Asta's new sword, the fact that it can dispel pretty much any curse or any type of magic, what if that actually does come at a cost to himself? Now, admittedly, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for his new sword to have that type of backlash or that type of effect when his other two swords didn't. But then again, we gotta remember that we don't really know that much about this new sword. He's only had it realistically for a few hours in the series. He's asked to still himself trying to learn exactly what it can and can't do. So it could be that this new sword actually does have some kind of backlash, or even just dispelling this new type of curse or this new forbidden spell in itself has some kind of backlash on the person who dispels it. Either that, or it could just be something as simple as what Asta mentions after he, or when he's dispelling the magic on the elf versions of Gouch and Marie. And that's basically his burden, or his like cost for dispelling the magic would be the fact that he has to now hold the memory of every elf that basically he kills off. Not the memory as like he has their memories, but he has to hold like the memory of the person. Like each time he kills off an elf, he has to remember each individual elf. And that could just be what it means. But yeah, we'll pretty much have to wait to see what ends up happening with that. Who knows? Like I said, it could just be something like it could be nothing, or it could be that there actually is some kind of like side effect that Asta himself's not even aware of, and that obviously we haven't come aware of yet either. But yeah, that's it for the chapter. That's it for the review. I actually did enjoy the chapter, despite the fact that I wish it would have been the chapter we got before the 3-week break. But still, it was a pretty enjoyable chapter. I really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought about it. Also, I actually saw last night the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. He let me get this on screen. So, let me know in the comment section. Also, if you guys want to hear me talk about the chapter, or talk about the movie in a review form, let me know in the comment section down below if you guys want to see that, and I'll put up a video if enough people say they want to see it. But, again, that's it for the review. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Comment down below your thoughts and theories. And follow me on Twitter at Manga Archives. But, yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.